Hello, everyone. This is TJ Gifford with the Duncan Church of Christ in Duncan, South Carolina. I am a student through Heritage Christian University via the Distance Learning Program, undergraduate, and I'm so very thankful for everyone who works so tirelessly to teach us and to help us behind the scenes. It's certainly a blessing that we have to be a part of this great university. I was asked by Autumn some time ago to say a few words about a passage that is found in Romans 12 and verse number 16 in particular. And there is a statement there in the English Standard Version. It says this, that we are to live in harmony with one another. I love that statement because that is certainly something that challenged the first century church, and that is certainly something that still challenges the Lord's church today, to live in harmony with one another. In other words, not to be divided, not to be divisive, to have a harmony and a unity that is seen by the world and glorifies the name of Christ. And so I want to say a little bit about this statement. First of all, the phrase live in harmony with one another. The word live, of course, is a reference to the way we conduct ourselves, the direction and choices we make in this life. The word harmony in the original language seems to literally mean to be of the same mind or to think the same way. And for that reason, I do believe the New King James Version has a good translation of this passage when it says, be of the same mind with one another. And certainly in the end of that statement, live in harmony with one another, the phrase one another is referring to the church. It's referring to you and I. It's referring to fellow Christians. And so, to summarize what Paul is telling the church here is that, yes, there is a lot of things that can divide us. There's a lot of differences that we bring to the table, but we are to work to be in harmony and in unison with other members of the body of Christ. This reminds me, and it does most Bible students, I'm sure, of what Paul told the Corinthians, that church that was contentious and divided, it seems. In 1 Corinthians 1 verse number 10, he says, let there be no divisions among you, but that you be perfectly joined together, underline it, in the same mind and in the same judgment. What a wonderful challenge for us to even have today. And certainly we may ponder the question, what is it that unites us? Is it just the fact that we want to be one? No. In Ephesians chapter 4, verses 4 through 6, he says that there is one body, there is one Spirit, one hope, there is one Lord, one faith, one baptism, and one God and Father. And so I suggest that's a good place to start. It's a good place that if we're seeking to be united, that we agree on all of those things that are mentioned in Ephesians 4. Now, I want to take your attention very briefly to 1 Corinthians chapter 12 to expand upon this point. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, I believe you'll find this. In verse number 4, he says that we as Christians have a diverse set of gifts. In other words, not any of us has the exact same gifts and abilities. He says in chapter 12 of 1 Corinthians in verse number 5 that we are diverse in our ministries. He says in verse number 6 that we are diverse in our activities. But when we come down to 1 Corinthians 12, verses 12 and 13, he says, it may be true that you are diverse. You have different backgrounds, speak different languages, have different preferences, have different abilities and talents, are involved in different ministries. Nonetheless, we may be diverse, but we are not divided. He says in 1 Corinthians 12 through 13, that we are many members, many diverse members, but we comprise one body. And I take great joy in knowing that and striving to achieve that unity with the people, the children of God that I come in contact with. You know, as I close, I want to just make a few brief points that harmony and unity is not easy to come by. You know, we are different, and we do have things that often divide us that really should not. And so here are just 5 brief pitfalls that I've seen in the Lord's church that commonly disrupt unity, things we need to look out for, things we need to be on guard against. And I'm reminded that sometimes complaining within the body of Christ can disrupt the unity. And sometimes confusing opinions for doctrine can disrupt the unity of the Lord's church. And sometimes having a contentious spirit. That was the case with the church at Corinth in 1 Corinthians 1 verse number 11. He says, "It is reported unto me by the household of Chloe that there are contentions among you." And certainly a gossiping tongue can also be a pitfall in trying to maintain church unity, and certainly always false doctrine can be a pitfall. And so I said all of that to say this, in wrapping up these brief thoughts, that there is few things I can think of that is more important than maintaining church unity. Unity amongst believers. And I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that I do not need to let my pride or my ego or my preferences disrupt the unity in the Lord's church. May I not play church politics. May I not play the good old boy system. May I love the Lord and love His church and do all that I can do to see that we are living in harmony and in love and in peace with one another. I thank you so very much for listening to these brief thoughts, and I pray that each of you have a blessed day. Thank you.